The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
No, that's so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now your hosts, Nico De Haan and Paige Clarke.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. The number here is 877-927-6648 if you'd like to give us a call. We're going to a couple of subjects we're going to talk about today, but first I want to let everybody know it's 82 degrees here in downtown Clearwater. It's
this is our beautiful time of year. Come see us.
Yeah, all the rain last week, or actually this week. We had a lot of rain, but it's over now. We got a week ahead. So
we hope you're having nice weather wherever you are.
Yeah, I hope so too. We're going to be talking about two subjects that are dear to my heart. One is bone health, and in the second part of the show we're going to talk about the flu.
Yeah, I think those are good. And, because actually there are some nutritional things that you can do that are kind of, connected.
Yeah.
Vitamin D.
Exactly.
It's going to help you with both of those
Connected
things.
with both of them, yeah. So, and I get a lot of questions. Most of my clients are women, and they really come to me and talk to me about their bone health and about, that they're getting these scans done, and most of them are getting scans that the doctors are saying that you're getting kind of into the osteoporosis type of thing. And I know there's a lot of controversy about it. There, of course, people are taking calcium, people are taking vitamin D.
Yeah, well, let's...
let's talk about the whole thing, and because I want your perspective, because this is something that you actually do. You help people with their bone health.
It is, and it is very controversial because I think we have a lot of women that are viewing this with a lot of fear, a lot of fear of loss of bone, and the question is, why are we having a loss of bone? And
well, especially because everybody's taking calcium.
Well, that's the concern, too, because calcium is a wonderful mineral and we need it, but it's not the only ingredient required for good, healthy bone. I think it's a lot of what you eat.
Right.
And how you move, and we'll talk about that. Okay. But you mentioned there's a lot of controversy, and I do agree. I really enjoy, we've shared a site with you all, GreenMed Info. SAYRG has provided some great research-based information that perhaps some of these diagnoses of osteopenia or osteoporosis may in fact be an overstatement based on the fact that too much calcium in the cheap forms, these supplements that people are buying that are just not even fit for human consumption as far as I'm concerned. This calcium is not being directed to the bone. It's ending up in the arteries and veins. It's ending up in your joints, causing arthritis. It's ending up in your aorta, causing aortic calcification. It's ending up
so it's not
in your
being
eyes.
Absorbed by the bone, is what you're saying?
Exactly. It's ending up in your eyes, cataracts. Let's just take a look at what's going on.
Okay.
So it's really, but at the same time, osteoporosis can in fact be an indication that something much more serious is going on. We got to take a look at the whole person. And what we see when we see serious bone loss is, in fact, most likely an indication that there has been an infection. You've heard me often on the show, guys, talking about the fact that we need to remove the interferences, whether they be physical, and these interferences can be scars and traumas that are disturbing our natural healing biofield that we all have.
So we're really talking about inflammation.
Well, we're talking about potentially a scar interference field that's blocking the normal energy flow to organs and glands.
And these scars would come about because of some kind of inflammation.
And we can go on and on. It can be from a bump, it can be from a bruise, it can be from an emotion, and that gets into the real what's going on in the biofield.
Stresses,
But the other thing is my favorite thing to say is that we all are harboring nanobacteria. Very stealth bugs that go to points of weakest, the weakest point. If you're going to have problems in your knee, most likely you've had injury and you've had different bugs that are gone there to try and deal with it. We are more bacteria than we are human cells, and that's hard to believe because we have trillions of cells. We have 10 times more. We're a host. We're a host.
Yeah, and a lot of that bacteria, of course, is what's keeping us alive and keeping everything working right.
Right, exactly.
But if you have the wrong bacteria, then, of course, or more acidic or more inflammation, then all these bacteria don't quite meet their needs, perhaps.
So let me give you an example.
Okay.
You were asking me, like, how would I look at someone when they come in with bone loss?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go through the critical things that that leads to all of us having great health. It's how you eat, what you move, how you breathe, how you sleep, what you're drinking. All of these things are important. But there's an overabundance focus on taking calcium, and they're overdosing on calcium. If you're going to get calcium, I want to see you getting it from your dark green vegetables or your grass-fed animals that are the food concentrators of this nutrition, right?
Right.
I want to see, I'm more likely to vary, and if I do, I use specific, once live source, highly ionized calcium, magnesium to help my clients with that.
Okay.
I will also be recommending K2. I might have you eating a little bit of Gouda cheese.
From my country,
yes. Aged
Gouda.
Properly aged Gouda raw cheese. The K2, that was the X factor that Weston Price found, was the reason that, other country, some of our ancestors and traditional folks had beautiful dentition, gorgeous bone structure, healthy bones, healthy teeth. I'm going to be looking at whether or not you're doing these things, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform an energetic test on you. And
okay, so what is that?
So we know that we all have this healing biofield. And in the practice that I do, which is quantum reflex analysis, our end goal is to restore the coherence to our own biofield.
Sure.
That is the healing mechanism that we all have.
The terrain.
Well, exactly. Yeah. It's the true terrain, because really we have this internal terrain, but we're all been focused on this physical body. But the biofield is actually a biophotons, and it's what controls all organs and glands and the meridians. So I would take a look, for example, at kidney health, and I would look at parathyroid.
Okay.
And we test the parathyroid by a 2-point polarity test right here under the jawbone. Okay. And many times we also would test back here at the C7 joint. C7 is an energetic point that I'll test for the strength. Are the bones getting what they need? And this is beyond muscle testing. This is a quantum physics patented test. And what we're often seeing is that people need the vitamin D. They need the vitamin D to be able to be absorbed, and a lot of that will determine on gallbladder health, right? Being able to emulsify the fat-soluble vitamins. And we don't see. What do we see in a lot of women over 40? Gallbladder issues, right?
Right.
And they have gallbladder issues, and then they can't break down the vitamin D and get it where it needs to go. Are they getting the right calciums? Do they have a proper pH so that they can get? Did you know that there's certain calcium that benefits your body if your pH is under the ideal of 6.4 in their first morning urine, or if it's above? So these are all things that I work with, but primarily I also am very interested in finding out if people have had a significant trauma that might be reflexing to these organs that help with bone, which is parathyroid and kidney. And so if that's the case, then we'll work to remediate that, and that's when I use the mud packing. But again, we get back to the nutrition, but I think what you're doing in teaching people to do resistant type training,
that all helps.
Both of us are personal trainers, and we're trying to emphasize that building bone requires activity.
Actually, it means lifting heavy things.
It does.
Yeah, it's the running craze has really caused lots of problems for people. They think that because you're running and you've got an impact sport there, that you're actually helping your bones. But you actually, if you're going to be overdoing it, and I think overdoing it would be maybe going over 3 miles every single day, and running 4 or 5 days a week. It's not necessary for bone health at all, because you're doing trauma to it, and it might give you the opposite reaction.
I personally am getting more and more where I love the intermittent burst type training.
No doubt about it.
Where I'm doing, if I'm going to go to the gym and I can get my heart rate going, I'm going to raise it because I'm going to do the row. I'm going to do it as heavy as I know that I can, with my core strength, support it. And then I'm going to have a nice heart rate reaction. I'm going to then stop. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to deep breathe and oxygenate my brain.
And plus it cuts your time down so magnificently, because in 20 minutes you're actually doing these real bursts for 30 seconds or maybe up to a minute. You might be doing that for 3 or 4 minutes only during that whole 20-minute period. The rest of the time you're doing easygoing stuff, recovery.
What you want to understand is that the recovery is actually a crucial time. People think they're not really working out during the recovery period, but the recovery period is critical. So as we go into bone health, guys, what I want you to understand is we need these nutrition, the K2, the vitamin K2, the active form of K2. We want the proper calciums. We want it coming in whole food with all their synergistic parts. We want to make sure that we aren't having something that's interfering with some of the organs and glands that help us. Are the kidneys not getting what they need? Are the parathyroid gland not getting what they need?
And of course, we have to also talk about, we've got a couple minutes left in this section, I really want to hit the things that really interfere with your bone health, and those, is strictly diet. One of the biggest things, of course, always is sodas.
Oh,
that's the number one thing. Sodas, maybe smoking, the other thing that robs you.
Well, the high antioxidant content of smoking gives a systemic, dose of oxidants. I mean, from smoking, there's all kinds of free radicals, and so keeping your antioxidant count up, is going to help you. Avoid some of those toxins. So sodas and, of course, sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all these things. The other thing would be any processed foods. Same problem. Because these do not have the vitamins that you need to digest them properly, the digestive process will take it out of where it needs. It needs still those vitamins and that calcium to help you digest it, so it's going to take it out of the bones. Exactly.
So
our bones are a reservoir of buffering for the acidic waste that we produce. So if we are not getting the nutrition from our food, and guys, it gets complicated because do we really need nutrition? I'm going to take it a step further and say what we need is the biophotons, the energetics that come from nutrients. So it even gets deeper than that.
Yeah, it's
and that's
down
why
to the micro level.
Fritz Albert Popp in Germany determined in the 1970s that all cells emit a light and have a resonant frequency. Each cell is different, and there's a communication going on in the body. So this is why I'm so adamant that that most of the nutritional products, people think that I'm into nutrition, so they think I'm automatically talking about buying most supplements, but I will tell you that most supplements are toxic and have excipients and ingredients that are not good for us, and they can oftentimes create an improvement in a short period of time, but the ultimate improvement is when you get live source light emitting nutrition. You get that from Once Living Whole Food supplements. That's why you'll hear us trying to tell you to look for foods that are healthy. And we were designed to eat really raw food, and that includes of all sources, animal but we are in danger of eating raw foods because of contamination. So we oftentimes, and we're in danger because we no longer digest our food. We have destroyed ancestrally this gut lining and with these genetically modified foods and grains that we weren't designed to eat. So we need digestive help so that we can cleave the minerals and nutrition and light from the food. There you go.
Okay, that's good. And anybody that has specific questions about bone health, you can, of course, reach both Paige and I at Nico or Paige at TFNN.com. You can email us, and we'll answer your emails. Or you can give us a call at 877-927-6648.
Or you can stand up and do 10, 20 squats in between our breaks.
And that's another way. And pick up my Health Signals newsletter, please. I got another one coming next week. We're going to cover some of the things we're talking about in that also in a much deeper way, so you can go and do your own investigation. We'll be back in a couple minutes, folks.
You've heard Nico De Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle on this beautiful Friday, and we're talking about bone health, and I kind of wanted to wrap things up, so did you.
The basics of bones.
Yeah, one of the articles and in fact I'm going to put this in one of my newsletters coming up, is the different studies, and most of these studies are done by young women athletes, or not by them, about the young women athletes in college and things like that. A major bone-robbing issue for young athletes, especially women, is what sports specialists call energy availability. The amount of energy they consume during exercise minus the amount that they expend, divided by their lean body mass, muscle, and bone. It represents the energy left to support all the body functions, including the formation of new bones. And so what they're saying is that a lot of these women who are doing really extensive sports activities, triathletes and things like that, is that they may not be able to recover adequately, even though they feel like they're eating enough, is because they're doing so much.
They have an energy deficit because they're draining.
Exactly.
Which also kind of, I try and look at it just from a common sense standpoint, you know, and we've seen this with long distance runners. They're creating, they need a lot of energy to perform their sport. Sure. Long distance runner, they create, as a result, the byproducts of this energy expenditure is free radicals. The body then has to drain a lot of resources to neutralize those free radicals, creating damage and inflammation. And I saw a comment in the article that says, this was actually quoting Dr. McCormick in his book, The Whole Body Approach to Osteoporosis, he kind of says that osteoporosis is not just the weakening of bones. It is the weakening of the body's entire physiology. When you have a chronic disease, you have to treat the whole body. And as I mentioned before, if we have free radicals running around the body, we're creating a situation where pathogens, nanobacteria that we get every day from our poor, pathetic food that we're not digesting, so we have this plethora of nanobacteria and free radicals creating inflammation. The body then is in a state of not being able to have healthy bone.
Right, because it's fighting this inflammation all the time. So it's so busy, and we've said this before, your immune system is not getting what it needs because it's too busy doing other things. It's kind of like if you got too many guests in the house, you're always cleaning up after them.
Right.
You don't have time to do your own stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good way to say it.
I visited my sister yesterday, and she looks a lot better.
That's great.
Yeah, the hospital there, the Moffitt Center.
You said she actually got up and...
She actually moved around. Just before I got there, her husband Jim said that she was standing next to the bed. So that's a huge thing. I got there. She recognized me right away. We conversed. Right. This is the first time she started actually talking because they have, she had tubes in there. It was really kind of raw. So. I
bet you that's so good that she sees you every
day. That was, it felt
close.
like, sis, I could talk to you. We can communicate instead of saying, huh, what are you saying? I can't understand you. Very, very frustrating. So that was really good. She had some color. She's still on liquid food and liquid food.
Okay. Is it really food? Okay, so it's really funny.
I decided I'll look at the bag because this is what I do, and the first ingredient, of course, is water.
Okay, wait. Okay. Just in case they don't know, his sister's on a feeding tube, which is what they do because they need to make sure when people have cancer, they're getting the nutrition. But Nico naturally looked at what was in the feeding tube and what you saw, because it really kind of struck me because I wanted to bring this up to everyone else.
Yeah, and then what you said about it, you should mention again, too. The first thing, of course, the first ingredient, and in fact, I've got it here, so I'm not going to make any mistakes.
You go ahead, and this is...
Okay, so this is, the first thing is water. The second is corn syrup.
Okay, so we know that's genetically modified.
Yeah, it has to be
and
because
corn
all
syrup.
corn, And the third thing is soy protein.
Genetically
and
modified.
I think it's lecithin. So,
Right.
The fourth thing, canola oil.
Genetically modified.
And then, MCT oil.
Right.
The next thing. And then there's a bunch of stuff I can't even pronounce.
And so, you wonder, it's probably really the MCT oil that's helping someone rebuild their cellular membranes.
I can't see any of this other stuff. I mean, I'm sure the corn oil is basically sucrose, so that's going right into the system and using that as energy. But... it's the soy protein is problematic as far as I'm concerned. Canola oil, highly problematic, although it's not in a state where it's not acidic anymore, but the acidic was removed beforehand.
This is the
but
thing.
It's not a whole food.
This is not food. But the scary thing, and this is what we were talking about before the show, is I want you guys to take a note, and if you get a chance, go to naturalnews.com. Naturalnews.com, the Health Ranger, Mike Adams. He's just coming out with a new series. I think you can watch it free, the first one, on the secrets of health. He's doing it with Dr. Edward Group. He's a really neat natural-oriented doctor, and they're talking about GMOs. It's a great education. It was amazing. They were going over what's in baby food. Same ingredients. This is what we're feeding our babies.
Yeah, very scary.
Yep.
Yeah. Even in the health food store, you'll see the same ingredients in the baby food. Pretty scary stuff. Folks, we'll be right back. The number here is 877-927-6648. If you've got questions about bone health, if you've got questions about some flu, we're going to be talking about the flu next, so we'll be right back. And pick up my Health Signals newsletter during the break, please.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Are you ready to ride the next bull market wave? Catch the Chapman Wave. Using the Chapman Wave methodology, Basil's very comprehensive daily newsletter, The Opening Call, gives the short, intermediate, and long-term analysis for the key indexes. In his Trader's Corner, he gives a brief market summary and expectation for the day with possible trades, both long and short, which are reviewed daily. A position, subscribers sold recently for plus 42% on parts and plus 64% on rest. Had Hertz Global as a core position for 6 months. A current position, entered as a turnaround company, is trading over 100% of its entry point as a portion sold earlier for a plus 21% gain. Subscribers to the Opening Call see the Chapman Wave techniques demonstrated and explained daily to also educate investors. Now you can get a free 2-week trial. Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're talking about health and living a primal lifestyle, and I guess it's that time of year.
Yeah, it's the flu season's coming up. Not so much here in Florida. We usually get ours a little bit, maybe a month or so later. Mm-hmm. But I think starting in October, that's when the big push comes.
This is the big push by everybody. You drive down the street and you see the signs, flu shots here, and,
get them anywhere.
Everyone has a right to their own opinion, and we have ours here. Yep. And I think, we want to share with you that in terms of the flu shot, please do your research.
Yeah, you got to make up your own mind about this. Mm-hmm. Some people may need it. Some people probably don't need it.
Mm-hmm. And, I've never had a flu shot.
No, I haven't either.
I don't plan on having a flu shot. I have family members that believe in the flu shot.
Yep.
But it is the peak season, and it's really time to take a look at whether or not there's ever been any research to prove that they are in fact beneficial.
I haven't seen any.
If again, you check your sources and you'd be confused.
There's a lot of propaganda, I think, about it.
There's I think, a Facebook page that does graphs that shows that pretty much every disease was already on the decline of
pretty much
of disappearing. at the time the vaccines were introduced. So if you really look at it, a lot of vaccination power has been attained by creating fear and realizing that there's a big curve and there's a tremendous amount of potential. If you tell a gazillion people or worldwide people that this can save their life, even if you know it's not really a threat, and everyone jumps on the bandwagon, then there you go.
Well, I think this year there's 3 flus. Usually they put 2 together. This year they've put 3 together, but not the current. They always do the years past, so they're never really up to date, so that makes me wonder. But I really wanted to go over some of the ingredients and what these ingredients do.
Well, and that's the whole point, too. Let's talk about the viruses and so forth that they're putting in, but let's talk about the other ingredients, the adjuvants. And you've heard me talk about just the nutritional products. We might have a chance to talk about one article that I put on the list, but it's some of these other things that are in the vaccine that can really be dangerous to your health.
Well, the number one ingredient is a preservative, thimerosal, the most common one, especially in the multi-dose vials.
And thimerosal is the mercury-based ingredient that in a lot, they're saying that it has been taken out of a lot of vaccines out of concern, but it is in the multi-dose. But again, this is mercury, and we all know the situation with mercury and the toxicity.
The reason they put it in there is to prevent contamination. Okay. The adjuvants are aluminum salts, and this is to help stimulate the body's response to the adjuvants.
To the antigens. Okay, so antigens. The aluminum helps to stimulate the response to the antigens, so let's think about that. The aluminum, the body sees the aluminum as a serious threat, and we are seeing repeatedly the implication of the involvement of aluminum, particularly in memory diseases such as Alzheimer's. I don't know. I sort of see a pattern here.
I do.
We've increased the vaccinations. I mean, the children today receive something like 36 to 50 more vaccines than children in the prior to the 1990s.
In fact, that's how they, when they started charting the problem with autism, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was the one who really got behind this whole thing. And if you start looking at these charts from the mid-'80s, when we increased, I think they were getting maybe 8 to 15 different shots, and they increased it to 30 to 36, and I think it's even higher now. And when that happened, the chart shows that the rate of autism really is along that same graph.
And they spend so much money trying to disprove this theory. I mean, the whole, discrediting of the gentleman, Andrew Wakefield, and all his research, he was actually worked for the drug companies, and then he later came out and said, this is not good. And all the discredit. And I've got people in my life that say, oh, didn't you see that? It doesn't cause autism. I think, again, let's take look at this from a common sense standpoint. What is the straw that broke the camel's back? When we are providing our bodies and our healing biofield with all these insults, whether it be from all different toxins. Is it the vaccine itself, or is it
just the accumulation
aluminum?
Of all the crap we're eating?
Accumulation. Take it a step farther, though. Is it possibly the fact that not everybody is able to detoxify their bodies of dangerous chemicals the way other people can? And I tell you, that's what I think it is.
It seems to it, yes.
And I'm doing some research on the MTHFR gene and how that impacts people, and it's staggering. We believe that it's somewhere between 50 to 95% of the population has the genetic mutation of the MTHFR, which is methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase. And if you have that copy of that particular SNP or gene, you often have a hard time converting important, simple nutrition like the folic acid, folate. Folic acid can be very dangerous, and that's what you get in synthetic nutrients if you're not buying something in its fully reduced form like what I have in my office. For people who have this, and did you hear what I said? 40 to 90%.
Wow.
What if the truth is 90? Well, then now we understand why some of these young children that are getting these, immunizations, sometime 36 in the first year of life, are maybe not able to handle this toxic insult.
Well, just think about it. I mean, here I am, a grown man, and me thinking about getting 36 shots would scare the heck out of me. Thinking of a small little baby getting those shots. It just
we
sense.
always wish we could redo things. We can't. Now we have to just be passionate about sharing the information to do your research. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is a leading medical doctor who has tremendous research on vaccines, and I encourage everyone to get out there and help make the right decisions for their children and their grandchildren and everything.
So the stabilizers in here are sugar and gelatin to keep the vaccine potent during transport and storage. Residual cell culture materials, those are egg proteins, and to grow enough of the virus or bacteria to make the vaccine. So they use the proteins in the eggs to actually grow the vaccine. Residual inactivating ingredients, formaldehyde, to kill the viruses or inactivate toxins during the manufacturing process. So all these things are in there for the manufacturing process.
It's just like I tell you about most synthetic coal tar derivative vitamins. There's ingredients that we use as flow agents and ingredients to help the manufacturing process. There's nothing in there that says that these items are necessarily good for you.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So, this is the time. Start doing your research, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about what we do to prepare for the flu season. And I'd like to share some tips with all of you. What is the number one thing you can do to prevent the flu? What do you think it is?
Eating right? Diet?
Well, I think that's a great answer, obviously, because we'll get the right nutrition, but really, time and again, it's frequent washing of your hands with real natural soaps, essential oils, which are naturally antiviral, antibacterial. Making a hand sanitizer from essential oils can provide a protection. I mean, if you go back to the story around thieves oil, which is actually popularized by a multi-level marketing type of company, but the idea of the thieves formula was these thieves were robbing the graves and during the time of the plague, and they were robbing the graves of the rich people, and they never got sick. They never got the plague. And what was it? It was the volatile essential oils that were actually protecting them. And it was like, how can they get away with this? They're not coming down with the plague. They're robbing everyone. It was because they protected themselves. Guys, there's tremendous power in the essential oils. And I see a lot of people running around with these hand sanitizers that have triclosan and all these endocrine disruptors. We don't need to be preventing germs, but disrupting our hormones, which then circumvents our being able to stay healthy. So wash your hands frequently with a nice clean soap. Say your alphabet. That way you know you've got enough time.
Yeah, when we switched over to the paleo diet, we started using all the natural cosmetic products and also the natural soaps, and so we have them in the kitchen and bathroom, and really pleasant smells. The natural essence is there. I mean, it really does make a huge difference.
Well, like we've talked about, what you're breathing in your air is therapeutic. So that's one of the things that I want to recommend. But we've been talking a little bit about trying to put together a flu prevention package for you tigers and tigresses that you can do very similar to what I do in my office. And
so you're actually putting a kit together of the products that you need.
If there's an interest to do that, people, you can kind of get it here. You can order it. We'll send them out.
Those of you who are interested, give us a call or actually just email us.
Email and say flu prevention protocol. We're going to talk about it next week. We're going to put it out there, and then if people want to get it, because really what the key is, for example, products like echinacea and vitamin C are great for building the immune system. Particularly echinacea is great before you get the flu.
Exactly.
A lot of people think...
Well, as soon as you feel a little inkling of something coming on, that's when I use echinacea.
Yeah, or even like right now, we know that the threat is there. Let's take it for a couple of weeks, trickle off. That's what I do with my clients. But I use a very effective homeopathic remedy. None of my clients got the flu last year.
Really?
And I use it's a complex homeopathic formula. It's kind of neat. It's in the little sugar pills, and you just take a capful and you put them under the tongue once a week. Okay? And then you do that for these weeks right now coming up to the flu. Okay. Most of my clients in my office are buying one bottle to do what I call the preparation, and then one bottle on hand. That way, if you started to feel the symptoms, you can immediately start taking the homeopathic remedy.
You ever use astragalus too?
Oh, it's a wonderful herb. So I use a combination of herbs, foods, whole food vitamins and homeopathy and essential oils. I mean, I do the whole layering thing.
Somebody mentioned in the chat room that do we know Gary Null?
Yes, Gary.
Yeah, he of course did a lot of work on autism, and I think he has his own show. I think.
Yeah, he's
radio show
a major leader in nutrition, and in fact, what was it? Why am I drawing a blank? But he had his movie. We'll bring it back.
Yeah, I think
maybe
it was on autism. Well, let me look at it.
What's the new movie that just came out? Prescription. It's a recent movie that came out. He is brilliant, I specifically, when you asked me, do we back his findings? I'm not sure exactly which finding you specifically. If you want to talk about it, give us a call. But no, I respect Gary Null completely.
Yeah, I do too. I like his work, and I've seen him.
And he's turned into be quite the legislative activist, as opposed to a prolific writer on nutrition.
He really talks about the immune system a lot.
We also got to look at him. Look at him. He's pretty healthy looking, and
yeah, he does.
He's been around forever. I don't know how old he is. We'll have to Google that.
I think he's in his 50s.
Oh no, he's older than that.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, Gary Null. Let's see. We'll look it up. That'll be interesting.
Born in 45, so he's my age.
I told you. And you look at him, he, he's telling you something right. Well, that's a little bit older picture, but here he is now. He's he's healthy.
Good
he looks good.
guy.
So we're going to put together some things that you all can use and some tips on the flu. But let's get started now. We've got to build your immune system right now, and so right away you want to start building up, your vitamin C reserves. You want to make sure that you're bouncing and creating a lymphatic movement. A lot of people don't understand that some movements we don't really get good lymph. We talk about the little mini trampoline, and you have a great routine on that, but we want to really make sure we have good lymph flow, because that's how we're going to get rid of dead cells and debris.
What I really stress now to my clients, and I do myself too, is the variety. So your body doesn't get used to things. And, like I explained last week, I have certain things that I do on certain days. And then if I don't feel like doing them, I don't feel like doing them. I only exercise when I feel like that it's going to benefit me. Or if I feel like a little extra sore, I want to do a little light workout to get the soreness out. Sometimes I do that. So I really try to listen to my body and determine what I'm going to do that day. It doesn't have to be a scheduled, Monday you're going to do strength training, Tuesday you're going to do running, that type of thing. It's how I feel. But generally, I really want to mix it up. So if I'm doing 30-second sprints one day, a few days later I might do a minute sprint. And maybe the rest period will, do, instead of a minute, I might do 30 seconds rest. So I want to change it up, because I always want that response. If you do the same thing every day, the response gets less and less. It just makes sense.
I think that's a great point, Nico, because we become adaptive. Just like if you eat the same foods over and over again, you can actually encourage your body to create an allergic reaction. Same thing with exercise. If you do the same movement, the body says, "Oh, I got you covered. This isn't creating any."
And this is really important too for people who are in a sport that they have to practice a lot of. In other words, if you're a golfer like Tiger Woods, who's always practicing on all these different things for a skill level, that's different. That's different than exercising. It is exercise.
I could almost see that when you said that. I had a visual of that. With a golfer, they have one certain movement. I think it could be really easy to get out of balance.
Sure. Sure. But what you want to do during exercise is strengthen the body so you can hold these positions.
Right.
Because in golf, position is everything. In jiu-jitsu, position is everything. Most sports, position is everything. Even just sitting. I was watching a podcast the other day about how we've destroyed our bodies by sitting improperly. Of course, chairs have a lot to do with it. But how to bring your body back. And that's really holding positions and rolling your shoulders back one at a time and holding and letting them relax. There's a real method to this that indigenous people did automatically that we kind of forgot because of the way we live.
Yeah. Well, we've got some more things. Maybe do we want to still touch on some more things?
Well, we haven't got any time, but we got one more segment come up, so we can wrap it up in there. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, folks. And please pick up my Health Signals newsletter. I think let's see, what is it? I've been taking Airborne in the event I feel something coming on.
Airborne is a great, again, gives some nutrition to the body can get better.
It's used to get on planes and not get infected. Yeah, great product. Okay, we'll be back.
Have you subscribed to the Gold Report yet? On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.69% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. With the 600th weekly Gold Report issue fast approaching, Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began. And right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber as this volatile gold market makes its way back into positive territory after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial today by visiting TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, everybody, and we want to wrap this up a little bit. Something interesting came across. There was a TED video, and it's great information.
Yeah, this actually came from one of our listeners.
Oh, great, yeah, great.
Alan.
Thank you. See, we love it when you guys send us stuff in. Yep. And Dr. Cordain, who is really kind of the originator of the research at the University of Colorado on the paleo diet, he had a rebuttal to a couple of studies that came out earlier this month in the early editions of the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences.
Yeah, it was this lady. Her name was where is it?
Carrie Arnold.
Carrie Arnold.
And she
right.
basically there are 3 studies. I want you to explain them because you can make it easier. But just to kind of lay it out, kind of evaluating what did really our Paleolithic ancestors eat, suggesting that maybe Paleo followers were wrong and that grasses and so forth were the actual diet. And
well, yeah, they were analyzing in these 3 papers what was in the human being, 3.5 million years ago.
Yeah, going into the carbon testing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then what they determined that they were getting a lot of nutrition from grass. Okay, but what they did not determine at all, and she actually read the articles kind of skimming through it, and her whole talk was really about, well, we didn't, our ancestors ate grass, they ate shrubs, they ate bushes and stuff like that, because this is what is found in their DNA. But what Cordain is rebutting here, he says, well, if you look at these carbon isotopes and the techniques that they were using, didn't determine at all what was in their stomachs, it determined the nutrition they got. And what Cordain says, and this makes a lot of sense, of course, is they were getting that nutrition from the animals that they were eating.
Like what we talk about.
Yeah, because, give me a break, folks. Who's eating grass? Even back in those days. Who is eating grass? Have you ever seen anybody eating grass? We'd be the healthiest people in the world if this worked, because we got a lot of St. Augustine grass down here. I mean, we could be eating and nobody would starve. So, I mean, if this is a solution, it already would have been done. And the only people that are eating grass and all those things are the gorillas and the herbivores, not the omnivores like us. So, I mean,
so really, in a nutshell, what he's saying is the evidence is clear that people were getting these nutrients that are found in plants, but they were getting them through animal concentrators secondhand. Sure. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, it makes sense. And if you go to any indigenous group now that's still indigenous and still a hunter-gatherer society, and you go there and say, let's eat, what is the first thing they're going to say?
What's for dinner?
Well, let's go hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what they're going to say. Let's go hunting, because they're going to first talk about protein and not vegetable protein. They're not going to talk about those things. Those are all going to be secondary things.
Well, Weston Price's work was that all of these societies, indigenous people, did have animal fats, healthy fat-soluble nutrients.
Yeah, and if they didn't have the healthy fat from animals, if they were in the tropics, they got it from coconut oil, or they got it from a tropical oil of some kind. And, of course, the animals that they were eating in the tropics.
Yeah,
there is no indigenous ancient people that were vegetarians. There is none. There has never been anything found, regardless of what you hear. It's never been proven, never been found at all.
Yeah, here you go. High reliance upon grass and grass seeds and Therapithecus gelata or in any hominin requires a number of evolutionary adaptations in the digestive tract to accommodate these low-quality, high-cellulose foods, none of which have been observed in contemporary humans. All vertebrates lack the enzyme cellulase, which is required to break down cellulose and hemocellulose found in grass leaves and seeds into glucose. So mammals that rely heavily upon grass and grass seed consumption for their sustenance have evolved large hind guts or a 4-compartment stomach, think ruminant animals, containing enormous quantities of microflora which have the capacity to ferment and break down cellulose, hemocellulose, starches, and proteins into similar compounds.
Yep. They eat it, they poop it, and that's the stuff they use for consumption. That's what they use for fuel. Not pleasant, but that's the way it works.
Yeah. Hey, so...
Anyway, folks, that's the show today. Thanks a lot for sticking around, and pick up my newsletter, please. We got a brand new one coming out next week, and we'll be back with some more interesting stuff.
Again.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.